Francis was the procurator for a billion-dollar company. The procurator's occupation was to purchase different properties and items that were necessary for state purposes. He is a specialist in assessing the worth of things and goods. Francis would purchase land, stationery, equipment etc. for the company and pay the vendors who sold them. As procurator, Francis was truly competent, so the company stores were constantly loaded up with the right and best things. He was extremely smart and predicting in his buys, so the company was never held up for the need of a specific item which was direly required. He was also exceptionally impartial in his dealings with vendors, so the name of the company was regarded highly amongst all vendors. But the company COO was not generous. He felt that his procurator was wasting away the company funds. In this way, we will be bankrupt quickly, he told himself. He wanted to replace Francis and find a new man for the job. This, he did in the least demanding way. He opened the window of his chamber and peered down. There were some of his janitors roaming about during break time. He chose one of them aimlessly and gave him the post. The COO believed that a typical individual with next to no position or status would not purchase anything without haggling in his dealings and would be more efficient in his buys. The new procurator couldn't recognize a jackass from a pony, yet he was a specialist in offering astoundingly low incentive for anything he needed to purchase. The vendors who came from far and away states could hardly get their goods worth. In his intention to purchase modest things, the new procurator purchased pointless and undesirable things. These started to collect in the company store. Also, the silly procurator couldn't think about what wares would be needed soon. Company work was frequently held up for need of something which was direly required. Most importantly, the name of the company obtained an extremely terrible standing in the country, and vendors quit going to that company for a paranoid fear of the procurator. On one occasion, a vendor showed up at the company with 500 pieces of excellent equipment. The COO came to know about it and asked his procurator to get them. The procurator summoned the vendor, investigated the equipment and fixed their value at $500. The vendor was flabbergasted yet didn't dissent. But he immediately looked for Francis, the ex-procurator, to let him know what had occurred. The new procurator is by all accounts a strange individual. I rely on you, sir, to see that I get equity, the vendor said. Francis considered the issue for some time and said, ask to see the procurator tomorrow at the group meeting to sign the contract for your equipment. Ask him what he will pay. At the point when he says $500, ask him the worth of it. Do not worry, as I would be present there along with some other top officials. The dealer put his confidence in Francis, thanked him and left. The following day at the group meeting, the dealer approached the procurator and said, Sir, you purchased from me 500 pieces of equipment of the best assortment. May I be aware before witnesses what I will be paid for them? Why, $500, obviously. I told you so yesterday, answered the procurator. This answer flabbergasted everybody at the meeting, including the COO. The trader put his next question, and may I be aware before witnesses what the worth of $500 might be? Anybody can tell you that. The worth of $500 is precisely equivalent to the worth of this company and her dependencies, said the procurator. The whole room reverberated with chuckling at the ineptitude of the procurator. Some of them even poked fun at it by assessing the number of shares every single one of them could purchase with dollars in their pocket, in how long a decent saving could purchase this company, etc. The two people who couldn't participate in the jokes were the silly procurator and the ashamed COO who appointed him. At the point when some of the officials requested that the procurator get them some shares for the dollars in their pockets, the COO twisted his head in embarrassment. Francis chose to pull a stop to this jest. He stood up and said, Do not taunt a person for his obliviousness. When a man is entrusted with a task for which he isn't qualified, he will undoubtedly make fool of himself eventually. The COO raised his head and said, "The shortcoming was mine, Francis," and immediately gave back Francis his post. What does the story tell us? It is necessary to assess someone's potential before entrusting a job. Assess the person's worth to ensure success. Please press like and share this video. Subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for notification of our next video. Thank you.